So, I'm sitting in the new generation Volkswagen Tiguan. This one is actually a 2026. Now, what's so special about a 2026 model? Well, it's all about what's underneath the hood, and it's more powerful than you think. We're going to tell you all about it. I'm Randy Stern, along with George Torteline, and this is Victory in Reseda. The 2026 Tiguan takes its design cues from across the Volkswagen lineup. A cleaner upper fascia is dominated by an LED light bar bridging two headlamp units. On the bumper is a large lower grille that intakes air into the engine bay. The profile retains a lot of the previous generation's handsome sloping roofline and glass house. Out back is another set of horizontal LED lighting elements bridging the two tail light units. Our SEL R-Line Turbo test vehicle rides on a set of 20-inch alloy wheels on wider tires. A few details and specific badging separate it from the rest of the Tiguan lineup. The interior is an all-new design for Volkswagen. It starts with a new dashboard design that looks very elevated and integrated. The 10.25-inch Digital Cockpit Pro instrument cluster is customizable based on not only the drive mode you choose, but to the setting in atmospheres connected through the driving experience dial. In the center is a large 15-inch infotainment screen housing most of the controls for the Tiguan. There are a few major changes to the new generation Tiguan compared to the previous models. The shifter is now mounted on the steering column. The overall design is elevated with wood grain type trim and cleaner spaces throughout the cabin. Seating is also elevated, thanks to a two-tone black and grigio Verena leather. You'll have plenty of space between the two rows inside the cabin. Cargo space starts at 33.8 cubic feet behind the second row of seats. Folding down those seats will get you up to 69.8 cubic feet of cargo space. Our 2026 Tiguan SEL R-Line Turbo test vehicle is powered by the more powerful 268 horsepower version of the EA888 turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. It also puts down 258 pound-feet of torque. An 8-speed automatic transmission is connected to the 4Motion all-wheel drive system. We would love to tell you more, but let's join Randy and George on the road in the 2026 Volkswagen Tiguan SEL R-Line Turbo.
So Randy, we're driving the 2026 Volkswagen Tiguan.
And not just any old Tiguan, this is the SEL R-Line Turbo.
Turbo?
Yeah.
Aren't they all turbo?
That's a very good point. It sounds redundant, right? But somehow, some way, Volkswagen figured, how do we distinguish the higher powered version of this Tiguan from the rest of the lineup? Could you call it GLI, GTI, or could you just leave it as R-Line and just call it a day?
Well, whatever they call it, I'm just glad that we do have a more powerful motor version of this.
I agree, although, to be fair, the standard Tiguan did get a power bump from the previous generation. So it went from 188 to about 201. However, this is the same engine, the EA888. They bumped it up to 268.
Right.
And boy, does it go.
Yeah, the way they have the throttle mapped on this, just a little bit of an input makes a big impact on its ability to take off.
I would agree. I mean, that's what I've noticed whenever I accelerate on the freeway or go around town. It's really very responsive. However, though, there is a trick that I found to really make it more enjoyable.
What's that, Randy?
Well, if you go into the big 15-inch screen and you go to driving mode, you're currently in comfort, which is sort of the happy medium that the Tiguan is set up for. But you also have other drive modes. If I put this in sport, for example,
I see the engine decided to bring up the RPMs a little bit. It kicked down a little bit, and so if we were to give it some gas.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Okay. So you really got the RPMs up high, so you're in the top of the power band to really utilize all that power from the motor.
Well, since you brought up power bands, it's interesting about this particular tune on the SEL R-Line Turbo is if you take a look at all the tunes of the EA888 from, say, Jetta GLI all the way to the Golf R, there are specific tunes for specific vehicles. This is closer to the Atlas and Atlas Crossport power band. Heavier vehicle, also capable of towing more, so that application is specific. This one, however, is more of an upgrade from the standard Tiguan.
Right, they still do mechanical upgrades to the engine. You're going to have stronger pistons, heavier crank arms, things like that, that will give it more of a robust engine, a larger turbocharger, and some refinements in how the engine breathes and delivers that power.
That's the whole thing, is why you offer a more powerful engine, which is very interesting because this follows a trend. And that is, okay, you used to have models with much more powerful engines, ICE engines. Now you're replacing them with hybrids because you're trying to get the better fuel economy and the less emissions. Whereas the Tiguan, by introducing this more powerful EA888, I think sticks to those who want more performance. They want maybe a little bit of a GTI kick to it.
I would agree. You do have more of a playfulness to this Tiguan that I've seen in the past.
And you still have it connected to the 8-speed automatic transmission, which you actuate from the stalk on the right here. I mean, there's no more shifter down here.
Right, and you have pedal shifters.
You certainly do, just to select that right gear.
And when it does shift, it's very smooth.
Oh yes, probably the best selection for this particular engine.
And with this, we are built on the new MQB Evo platform, which has all new sheet metal. We're saving about 170 pounds over the previous model, which helps with performance and fuel economy. On this top end trim, we do have acoustically treated laminated glass to make the interior cabin more quiet. And talking about the interior, boy, lots of upgrades in here.
They have elevated this thing. You know, the dashboard itself, it's clearly not a Volkswagen design we've seen before. It's very elevated. It looks not even like an Audi.
Yeah, this is very nice.
Absolutely. And you have a flat top. You also have these nice little wood trim here, which really brings up the elevation.
Volkswagen claims that's walnut from America.
Maybe.
Maybe.
They also did some switcheroos on the controls. Thankfully, you do have tactile steering wheel controls and a little bit of haptic touch in a couple of places, but not to be faulted. You also have
Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. However, this knob, I've never seen this type of knob on a Volkswagen before.
Interesting that they're using that to easily get to your volume control and, kind of curiously, your drive mode.
And also, even more curiously, there's something else. It's called atmospheres.
Okay.
Atmospheres is sort of like a mood ring that you set, and it fits the type of mood you want to be in when you're driving.
Like an ambiance.
Exactly. However, in a couple of those atmospheres modes, it also changes the format of the instrument cluster.
Nice. And also that impacts the color of the ambient lighting in the interior.
Exactly, because if you're in, say, this purple, that means all of the ambient color will be the same. I mean, they're assigned a certain color and that reflects on all the accents throughout the interior.
Now, with the performance, let's talk a little bit about fuel economy.
Could be better.
Yeah, well, this is the performance model, so we're kind of at the lower end of the EPA range, but we're still within there, and we do have some cold weather.
Yes, true that, but I think that maybe it might improve over time, but still the the EPA rated it a little bit lower than the other Tiguan.
But at least it burns regular gas,
Well, that's a big plus.
even with this performance model.
I would agree. I think that's really good fuel savings for those that are thinking, gee, it's got a more powerful engine. Do I have to put premium? No. The only EA 888 that I've ran into that you have to fuel in premium is
Golf R.
Exactly. And this is not a Golf R by any means.
No. But hey, you do get some flavor.
A little bit. Like I said, if you set it to sport, you may have close enough feeling to say if you're in a GTI.
But hey, let's talk about comfort in these seats.
They're spot on in various ways. You do have a balance of comfort, you have a balance of support. The two-tone leather looks really great. There are other choices for upholstery colors as well.
And in this trim, you do have, of course, heat, ventilated, and massage in this.
Yes, you do, plus a heated steering wheel.
And the massaging seats use 10 chambers of air to massage you in different ways.
That sounds like a very good idea on a day when you don't feel energetic enough to go anywhere.
Precisely. Now, all these great features we also see on many other Volkswagens, including the GTI and the Golf R, which for 2025 won what?
It has won the Victory in Reseda Vehicle of the Year Award.
For 2025.
Absolutely. And that is the first Volkswagen to ever win this award.
You do have the Harman Kardon's sound system,
which is exclusive to the SEL R-Line Turbo, as is the larger screen.
700 watts, 12 speaker.
Yes. Nice sound, by the way.
So in summary, what do we think of this 2026 Volkswagen Tiguan?
I appreciate the elevation as far as the interior design is concerned. I appreciate the updates as far as the exterior. I appreciate what Volkswagen is doing by putting in a much more powerful EA 888 engine underneath the hood for this specific trim. However, though, the Tiguan as a whole is a very competitive vehicle in a highly competitive segment. And thinking about it, say about a few years ago, we almost considered one. And that speaks volumes as to how far Volkswagen has come to provide a good lineup of SUVs, especially meeting today's demands and customers. The SEL R-Line Turbo may not be for everybody, but if you like a little bit more performance in your compact SUV, where else are you going to look for it?
We're going to put the 2026 Volkswagen Tiguan SEL R Turbo into launch control and check out its 0 to 60. So first, we're going to need to put it in sport mode. So we'll jump into the drive modes and make sure that we're in sport, and we are. Also, we're going to want to disable the stability control so that we will be able to utilize that. And to turn off the stability control, click on the vehicle icon and select the ESC system and ESR off. Asks me to confirm in the instrument cluster. It's like, yeah. Clicking OK on the steering wheel will confirm your choice. And now let's go ahead and see what we got. .63. Seems like we can do better than that. We're going to try it again. .46. Okay, I was hoping this would be quicker. 268 horsepower. You know, you do have quite a bit of mass to move, but compared to the regular 201 horsepower standard motor, those run at about 8.5. So is going to the turbo motor going to be all that much more exciting at the very top end of performance? Maybe not. In our thermal imaging analysis of the 2026 Volkswagen Tiguan SEL R-Line Turbo,
We found the heating element locations appear to match that of the diamond stitching patterns found on the Varina leather seating surfaces. That means on the front seats, the heated sections start from the upper mid-back center section and extends down across the seat bottoms. The side bolsters are not heated. For the second row seats, we find the same heating element pattern as the front seats, though starting more in the mid-back region. The heated steering wheel offers heating element coverage around most of its diameter, though inconsistent in coverage around its circumference on the face of the wheel. Outside, the side mirrors are heated, and the rear window defrosters offer very good window coverage. One of the features for this vehicle is to have heated windshield washer nozzles, as they are to heat the wiper fluid as they dispense onto the windshield. However, we could not detect if that was happening with our imaging equipment.
There are 4 trim levels available on the 2026 Volkswagen Tiguan. Pricing starts from $30,805. Our SEL R-Line Turbo test vehicle came with a sticker price of $44,560. So if you like what you watch, don't forget to click the like, subscribe, and the notification bell to find out when our next video is coming out. And we have some great content for you on our website. Log on to victoryandreseda.net. Thanks for watching.